so in today's video I'm going to talk about feeling behind at 30 and the struggles of looking significantly younger than I am. So when I was born, the doctors told my parents that I'd be behind my peers, but that I would eventually catch up. In a sense I have, but I have done so many things that I never thought I'd be able to do because of my disability, which was caused by a lesion or a blood clot in my brain before I was born. So at secondary school, I did worry that I'd fall behind a bit because I struggled to process information and express myself. And I always had a teaching assistant in my classes to help me understand what I needed to do. And I mean, now I'm so grateful that I had that. But back then, I found that quite frustrating that I couldn't just learn properly on my own. So I remember my parents taking me to an English and Maths tuition centre called Kumon, which really helped me. I mean, the fact that I had to do a task sheet every day and go to the centre every Saturday was something I really hated when I was 14. But I feel like it really helped me in my English and Maths classes at school. And I felt like I could understand better what I needed to do in other subjects as well. So when I went into sixth form, I had to retake my GCSEs in the first year to get better marks. And I managed to get a C in English second time round, but maths was so hard. The highest grade I could get was a D, and that was taking the exam like 3-4 times. But yeah, I mean, when I went into A-levels, I managed to get a B in media, and considering that the highest grade I could get was a C in every other subject I did, it was just a massive achievement for me. So I always felt socially that I was one step behind other people my age. I was an extremely shy kid. I did have 2 friends, one of them I'm still friends with, but I would look at other people my age and see that they had big social groups and they were starting relationships, and I would think, why am I not there yet? They just seemed to be a lot more mature than me. But when I think about it now, I was totally at the level that I needed to be at. I wish I'd enjoyed being a kid more, but I do remember every kid's mindset back then, that they couldn't wait to be an adult, having no school anymore, making money, and being free to do whatever you wanted to do, when in reality, adulthood can be very hard. So I only found a group of friends that really cared about me until I was 21, and getting into my first proper relationship when I was 23. When I was doing my higher national diploma in media, and finding that changed my life. I became a lot more confident and a lot more accepting that things would come to me later in life, and that was okay. So I've just turned 30, and boy do I not feel like it. Most people my age are getting married and having kids, and I feel like I'm not quite there yet. I can see myself possibly marrying someone if I meet the right person, but I don't think I'll be ready to have a kid until I'm in my late 30s, early 40s. And I mean, I feel comfortable with that, but age pressure is annoying. Comparing myself to other people my age through social media is horrible. Mentally, I still feel like I'm in my late teens, early 20s, and I feel like I haven't experienced enough yet to then settle down. So I still live with my parents, and there's no shame in that. Housing prices are so expensive nowadays, but as a 30-year-old, I can't help but feel embarrassed by that. I don't have a high-paying job, which makes it hard for me to live independently, and I think that's something that makes me feel a lot younger than I am. So I do have to rely on my mum for things like doctor's appointments, which does make me feel a lot younger than I am. I mean, I can go to appointments where there's not a lot of explaining to do, like a blood test or something like that. But when it's more complex than that, and I have to explain in detail, that's when I struggle. I mean, I have gotten better in the last few years, but it's still something that I can't quite do independently. I mean, if I plan it and I write down exactly what I'm going to say, that really helps. As well as feeling like a teenager, I look like a teenager too. When I tell new people my age, they don't actually believe me. And I mean, I've asked new people in the past year how old they think I am, and most people have said 18, and that's like 12 years younger than I actually am, and it's just crazy how I can get away with that. I could literally lie about my age and no one would doubt it, but I do struggle with that quite a lot. My biggest insecurity is not my disability, but how young I look. All I want is to look my age and get taken seriously as that age. Saying that though, meeting people my age now, knowing they are married, have kids or have a really good career, I do feel out of place and embarrassed that I'm not there yet. And I do get into my head that I haven't worked hard enough to be at that point in my life. And I almost feel like I don't want to have a conversation with people my age or just let them believe that I am a teenager because I can get away with it. But yeah, once they find out my age, I sometimes get the questions like, are you married? Have you got kids? And when I say no, but I want that in my future, I do feel judged, even though it's all in my head. But yeah, mentally, I just feel so much younger than them. Weirdly though, the friends that I have from college and the friends I met outside of college around the same time, it's very different. We are roughly around the same age, and I feel like we're all on the same level. Possibly because most of us are at the same point in our lives, and I don't feel like they're much older than me. So when I was 17, my family and I went to see Black Swan in the cinema, and it was a 15 rating, and the guy that was serving us did not believe me that I was 17. He was really reluctant, and I didn't have ID, so it made it really difficult. But I do remember him letting us in, but still being really unsure, and I totally understand that he was just doing his job. But yeah, that was one of the things I had to deal with looking really young. So in my 20s, it was more that when I was in a pub, and it was a Friday or Saturday night, like after 8 p.m, I would need ID to actually enter it, which for me, I think is quite ridiculous because I don't even drink alcohol, because it's another thing that triggers my epilepsy. But yeah, if I didn't have it on me because I forgot it, I would either not be let in or kicked out, which was really the worst. But I mean, the fact that I'm looking more like I'm 18 now, I might not have this problem in the next few years. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.